Hey everybody, Pat here from West Corners Custom Cycles. Welcome back to the Underground Garage. I know it's been a couple of weeks since I've been back. Hope everybody had a great holiday season. And time to get back onto this 85 Virago we've been working on. In the time that we've been gone, I came to a couple of conclusions. One, I really don't got a lot of money into purchasing this bike, and I've never heard it run. So until I do, I didn't want to sink a lot of money into it. So what I decided is I'm going to go with a single carb setup on this. I'm going to make my own single intake manifold. Stick around because I'm going to show you how to do that very cheap. I think I can get away with making the whole intake manifold for under $40. I already ordered a carburetor off of Amazon. It's a VM30 Mikuni copy, Chinese copy. Like I said, I didn't want to dump a lot of money into this till I'm sure it runs and runs decent. I picked that up, I think it was for $35 and change. So hopefully this whole single intake manifold setup is going to run me $80 or less, I want to say. And I'm going to show you how I do all that, how I put it together, and how it's set up. In the meantime, we need three things to get this thing running. We need spark, we need gas, and we need air. As you saw in the last video, I modified the original air cleaner to this bike. I'm not going to be using that with the single carb setup. I know people can see, I can see my breath in here. It's about 40 degrees out. I got the heaters on, but it'll take a little bit to warm up. Anyway, so I won't be using that modified air cleaner on this build. I do have one for the single carburetor. I'll show you how all that goes. Right now I'm going to pull the spark plugs. I'm going to spray a little PV blast on both the cylinders, put the plugs back in. I have an extra plug. I'm going to plug that in, ground it, and we're going to see if this thing has spark. If this has spark, I will get that intake manifold on here, and I don't see any reason why I can't fire that up in a few minutes once we get that done. All right, let me get some oil down the neck of this and get the new spark plug. I'll be right back. Spark plugs in this thing. I got the front one out. I don't even know what these are. I don't think I've ever even seen anything. I'll show you what they look like. Here's what these look like. So, gonna make sure we got spark out of both cylinders, both plug wires, I should say. A little PV blast. Just to make sure. I don't know how long it's been since these pistons have been moved around in this cylinder, so we'll help it out a little bit and make sure they're lubed up. All right. Now, let's see if we got spark out of this one. Oh, we have spark, and really good, nice spark. Sparky, sparky. Woohoo! right, let's try this other one. Oh, really, really, really nice spark. Now, cool. Now, you guys saw I cleaned out the gas tank and everything, so we shouldn't have any problem with something that holds fuel. I don't know if I'm going to go with that tank. I found one online. It's like a sports or peanut tank made just for these bikes. And it's not even $200, brand new, all new steel inside and out, so we might go that route, but we'll see. Either way though, we're definitely going to have air because the air cleaner that's going on, it's new. Carburetor that's going on, it's new. I'm going to make the single intake manifold. That's no big deal. So there's no reason this shouldn't start. Stay tuned. I'm going to take you inside, show you what's going on with this carburetor I got and the intake manifold. You guys can learn how to do this. All right. See you in a minute. Okay, everybody, I got you back down here. I want to show you what's going on with this intake manifold here that I'm making. I got all the parts right here. I'm going to bring you in a little closer, show you close up how to set this up. I also got the petcock in for the gas tank, and you know I already had the new gas cap, so we should be all set with all that. Let me get you in here. Okay. I ordered, and this isn't something you have to do unless yours are cracked, but I ordered brand new rubbers that go onto these cylinders that the manifold's going to hook up to. I'll give you a breakdown on what all this costs at the end here. I got these. Obviously, this one goes on the rear cylinder. It's going to hook up just like this. This bolts up to the cylinder. This is a piece of 1 1/4 inch, 90-degree PVC, just regular white PVC. I spray painted it black. This is just a plumbing piece that you get to connect the two. Just a piece of rubber with a couple of hose clamps. Then another 1 1/4 inch piece, T-section, painted black. And then on the end, I found this piece. I'd have to look and see what exact dimensions it is, but it doesn't really matter because it depends on what carburetor you're going to use as to what size this rubber has to be. But this side fits on here, and this here is our new carburetor. And there it is, kids. Isn't that pretty? Manual choke. I might have to modify the throttle cable to go down through here and hook up to the slide. That slide in there that goes up and down. I'll have to see how that goes. But anyway, carburetor is going to go on the end there like so. This will bolt onto the front manifold, and I will hook up the vacuum advance vacuum hose onto this and plug off the ones I'm not using. The petcock I got is actually a vacuum petcock. Has a nipple for vacuum and a nipple for fuel. This is off the 750 Virago. But I also have one that came in the mail just a little bit ago with this carburetor that I ordered that's just gravity fed. There's no vacuum to it, and I think that's the one I'm going to run with this carburetor. And then it comes down to air cleaners. I ordered up this little one. Turns out that the opening here is a little too small to go on this carburetor. So I had this K&N one kicking around the garage. As you can see, it's got a few scratches and stuff, so I'm going to try and clean it up a little, but I think that's what's going to be going on it. This is just a pinch too big, but I think with a hose clamp, I can get it tight on there. So, that's what you're looking at. Like I said, this is all from here to here is all plumbing stuff that you can get at any of your local hardware store, your, you know, your box stores, your home repair stores. Like I said, I got this off Amazon for 35 bucks. Had the air cleaner kicking around the garage. So I'll give you a breakdown on price here just to make sure I've got everything. I got to look and see what these manifolds, rubbers actually cost me. All right. That's how that's going to get set up. I'm going to take this all out in the garage, get it on the bike, and show you what that looks like. Catch you in a few. Okay, everybody. I'm back. Got you back out here in the garage. I want to show you what this manifold looks like. It's actually a day later. I was out here for several hours making this work. I had to wind up cutting it down, both the PVC pieces and the rubber boot that goes in between them. I'm actually going to make a separate video showing how exactly I did all that and what was, you know, what I incurred and what I had to do to make it go on there and fit and everything else. But I'm going to make that a separate video and put it on my Tech Tips playlist. So if anybody wants to check that out, they can go there and see that. So let me get you in here. I can show you what this looks like, how it turned out, and I think it's going to work great. All right. Like I told you, I bought new boots. I used the old clamp right here from the old boots. I think I'm going to trade those out and get some fatter stainless steel ones. Plugged off the vacuum port right here because I'm not going to be using it. This is the 90. There's the rubber boot that connects the two. The other new boot. As you can see, I got the vacuum line hooked up for the vacuum advance. Okay, I'm going to take you around the other side. Okay, here we are. As you can see, plugged off this other vacuum port here, because I'm not going to be using that. Show you inside here. Now, when I did this, I tried to, I don't know if you can see down the pipe there, but there's literally like no gap between the two PVC pieces. Up inside here, I have them butted right up next to each other. And then I put this on, so hopefully we won't have any leaks. It'll all flow nice. All right, let me get the carburetor back on here. Okay, everybody, before we pop this carburetor onto this manifold I created here, I want to find out what's going on inside here. I want to know the size of the jets, and I want to see what the end of the cable looks like, because the end of the original cable that I got to hook up to this has, most of you know what the end of the cables look like. They either got a round ball on them or they got a barrel on them. This has the horizontal barrel. And if I remember right, these need the ball end on them. But if so, I'm just going to file it down and make it work. So we'll see what's going on. I'm going to get you over here so you can see this better, see what's going on as I pull it apart. We'll look at the jet sizes and see how it's set up. I know how I want it set up and what I want them to be. And if they're not, then I'm going to have to do something about that. Okay, let's get you in here. All right, let's get this thing pulled apart. Unscrew the cap. This is where your throttle cable goes down through. You have an adjustment here and a lock nut for it. Under here, there's a spring that pushes against the slide that's inside here. There you go. Don't lose your gasket from here. Set that off to the side, set the spring off to the side. Now, The slide will slide obviously right out of here. This is your needle. Now, first thing I want to check is on the slide. If you look down in here, there's a clip. Now you squeeze those two curved pieces on the bottom together. Like so. And you can work that clip up out of there. Like so. Now, that goes right down that center hole. And where the slot is on the side here, that's where your cable is going to go down through. Let's see if we can see it. Yep, see how this is dimpled? Right here on this side. Right here. That's where your throttle cable, the ball on the end of it's going to go into. The needle's going to come down the center hole. Now, what I wanted to see with the needle, see how well we can see this. There's 5 slots on this needle. Right now it's in the middle one. See how there's 5? I might be moving that up one and leaning this out a little bit. From what I was told, that's what I should do with this. I'm going to put it back in here for now so I don't lose it. But I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that until I find out what jets are in here. So, to find that out, we're going to pull the float ball here. Don't want to lose that clip either. And we're going to see what's going on inside here. All right. Careful when you're pulling this off of here. That gasket seems to be sticking a little, and you don't want to tear it. So let's see what I can do about. Gently working that off of there. Well, I see. These 2 holes down these floats, you can see through the center of that one. Right up and down on those slots. Now this one seems to be a little goofy. Yeah, hopefully it won't be an issue. I guess that's what I get for getting a Chinese carb and not a actual Mikuni. But like I said, I didn't want to dump a lot of money into this until I was sure that the bike runs and starts and everything okay. Now, let's see if I can see. What kind of jetting I'm looking at in here. Huh. That one says 138 on it, and I was hoping it would be considerably bigger than that. And I'm going to have to get me a smaller flathead screwdriver, because that is one tiny jet down there for the secondary jet. All right, I'm going to have to pop out to the garage for a second. I'll be back. All right, I'm back. I'm not real pleased that that only has a 138 main in it. I was looking for something considerably bigger, like 240, 245. Let's see what this one says. I don't even see a number on that one. It's so small, I don't know how they could put a number on it. Wow. All right. Well, I'm glad this only cost me $35. We're going to put that back in there. Snug it up. No Hercules on carburetors. This main, I already pulled out. It's a 138. Wow, that's so small. All right, well, we're going to pop it on there and start it and see how it performs. We'll go from there. But I was hoping that it had somewhere around a 245 main jet on it and around a 40 secondary. But that doesn't appear to be the case. So we're going to put all of this back together. And, well, of course, I put it in the wrong side. We're going to put this all back together, get it on the bike, and let's see what she does. I have a feeling it's going to be a little insufficient. But at least now I know what's in there. Okay. Turn this around. And that should be how that is. Yes. Okay. Get this float ball back on and it'll be ready to go on the bike. And then we'll see what happens. All right. Put the slide back in. It's only going to go one way. Oh, got to get the clip back in. It holds the needle down. I was going to adjust that clip on the needle down and lean this out a little bit because that's what I was told to do, but since this has such small jets in it, I certainly don't want to lean it out. We'll see how it performs before we do anything. Slide goes in one way. Make sure your needle goes down in the center. Put your spring back in. Put your cap back on. Make sure your gasket's in there. Oh, mine's falling out again. Screw it down, snug it up. And there you have it, all back together. Slide's working fine. Okay, now it's ready to go back or on the bike. All right, everybody. At least I know what's going on inside here now. Certainly not what I wanted to be going on inside there. I don't know if I can find jets to fit this aftermarket thing. I was told Mikuni jets will not fit it. So I'm going to have to look and see what's going on. And like I said, maybe even with these jets, I can get it to run decent. We'll see. If not, I'll be ordering up a Mikuni with the jets I want. Okay, but I want to see if it starts. So, ready to go back on. I'll get this on. We'll see what happens. All right. All right. It's on there. Now, I got to modify the end of this throttle cable. I got to file that down till it's almost a ball because it's got to go down through this top brass fitting and hook up to the slide down inside. And this took a ball cable, so I'm just going to modify that one. This is the air cleaner that's going to go on there. So, back out a little here. That's what she looks like. Now I'm going to get that throttle cable modified. I just got an IV bottle, going to hang it from the handlebars here and run it down to that carburetor. And I think after that, we're going to be ready to roll this over and try and get her to start. All right, stay tuned. We're almost there. Be back in a minute. Okay, everybody, we're back. I did not modify the fuel throttle cable on this. I actually found one I had sitting over on the shelf, came off an old two-stroke Harley. I put that on there for now. It's got the correct end that goes into the Mikuni carburetor, so I can at least activate it. I have an IV bottle here all set up with gas, hooked up to the carburetor. I'm going to get you over here so you can see what's going on. Turn the gas on here. Let that start flowing down into the float ball and fill up. I'm going to come over and get you guys. And we're going to see if we can't get this thing started. Okay. Now, the camera right there is in front of the garage door. If this thing does start, I'm going to have to open that up so we don't asphyxiate ourselves, or myself. But we got fuel down in there. Okay, we're in the run position. Put the choke on, see if that helps at all. Ho, 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 people. Let's see what. Firing, but it looks like it's only firing on one cylinder. I got smoke coming out of the front pipe. Okay, let's see something here. Getting a little smoky. I want to see. Can't turn up the idle a little bit. See if that does anything. Well, I'm going to do this. I think I'm only firing on one cylinder, so I don't know if both these plugs are good. These are the old plugs. I'm going to throw a fresh set of plugs in here and see if that doesn't make a difference. I also might have a problem with it not wanting to start and run because of how small the jets are in this carburetor. I showed you that. I had an idea. I do have the CV carburetor that came off of my Skull bike when I put the Chinese one on there, and I did go through it and clean it, so maybe I could throw that on here. That's certainly going to be enough to run this one 1100. It was running my 1200. So let me monkey around with this a little more and we can see what we can come up with. All right, I'll be right back. All right, everybody. It's been several days since the last segment of this video you just saw. Figured out that carburetor wasn't going to work, so since then I put a couple of fresh plugs in here. I've installed that CV carburetor on here. I had to get a new boot that fit the CV carburetor to put on the end of the manifold that I made. I'm going to get you over here and give you a look at this to see the setup. Then I'm going to put you back over there and we're going to fire this thing up and see what happens, see if it runs, how it runs. I'm going to open up this door so we don't fill the place up with smoke. But let me get you over here. Okay. All right, there it is. CV carburetor's all on there. I went and made this little bracket here to steady things up so it wouldn't move around as much, and put a little choke mount on there, but I'm not happy with that, so I'm going to wind up redoing that. But for right now, I want to make sure that I can get this thing up, started running, and that it runs decent. And it shouldn't be a problem with this carb setup. I know this carb was on my Skull bike. That's a 1200 Sportster. This is an 1100 Yamaha. So it should run it, should have enough, should be jetted and everything right so that it works on this bike. So let me get you back over here and I'll see if I can start it. I'm going to open that door all the way. I don't want to lose my heat. All right. Key on. Run. Put the choke on. Make sure I got the gas on. That was on choke. Turn that idle up a little bit, see if I can get it to run without the choke. We're out of gas. All right, that explains that. Well, she's up, she runs, she sounds good. I got her dialed in at about 1,000 RPMs. I'm gonna have to get some more gas or get the tank on here and let this thing really get up to operating temperature, and I can go through and adjust this carb up and make sure I got everything dialed in the way I want it. But damn, that sounded good. I'm happy with that. All right. Now I can start thinking about what we want to do to make this thing look cool. But there's a few more things I got to tie up on it as far as runnability. But I want to reorder. This is a Harley cable that I found sitting over on the shelf. One, it's a little too long and it doesn't fit into the throttle up here well. So I want to order up a throttle cable for the CV carb for this Sportster. Because that's the bike it came off of. And that throttle cable should work well with it. And like I said, I want to get this choke mount fixed and rearranged. I'm not happy with the way that is. We'll figure out what tank we're going to use and work on getting this on here. Now, as I said, on the Virago chopper build that I did, 1994, I have these fender struts, I have the backrest, I have the rear fender, I have the differential, the swing arm, the shocks. Everything's in way better shape than what these are. So we're definitely going to be at least trading out the swing arm, differential, all that stuff. I don't know what we're doing as far as fender struts. I didn't use them on the last build. You can go on the channel and check that out if you haven't seen it. Turned out real sweet. But, all right, enough for me hammering. I'm psyched. Okay, I'm going to get this video finished, put up so you guys can see it. I'm sorry it's been so long. I know it's been a few weeks, but, you know, I didn't want to get this up. I told you in the last video that we would start it in this one, and I didn't want to put this video up until it was going. Oh, God, I love when I get a bike going. All right. Wish I had more gas so I could rev it up some more. But, all right, as always, people, be good to each other, be kind, ride safe, and live life behind bars. I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.